Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 174 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
And here's what's coming up in today's show. In our noteworthy segment, we'll give you an update on the closures at Sequest Aquariums that we were talking about last week. Pressure campaigning is working.
And in our main topic, we've put together a guide for peaceful protesting. You might want to have a notebook and pen ready so you can write down the information.
Before we get into all that, what have we been up to?
Not a whole heck of a lot. It's the middle of the semester. Things are rolling forward. This is pretty much my busiest time of year.
Yeah.
February into March just gets a little bit insane.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. The weather's beautiful today.
Oh my gosh. That is the announcement of the day is the weather.
Yeah. The sun is shining.
And it's 53 degrees.
53 degrees. It's like, days ago, it was like in the teens.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been just
It's phenomenal.
I've been just microdosing Thin Mints.
Well, yeah, we both have, actually, to a certain extent. I mean, Christine's been home more than I have, so her microdosing might be a little more frequent than mine. But
no, I don't think I've had any without you. So,
well, I know
except
that you
for the
did.
day that they came.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the day that they. Oh, here's something that you might not know. If a Girl Scout that you know is selling Girl Scout cookies, but you don't live in the same area, they can send you a link to have said Girl Scout cookies shipped. Shipped to you. I was so excited I lost my voice there. Now, mind you, it depends on what bakery. I use that term loosely. It depends on what factory your Girl Scout cookies are coming from, whether or not certain varieties are vegan. So the Girl Scout that we were supporting, the only
Vegan option.
Yeah, the only version of them that was vegan was the thin mints.
Right.
But there are different manufacturing locations where some of the other varieties are vegan. So,
Yes.
But on that website, you can look at the ingredients of all of them, which is very nice. So that's exciting news.
It is exciting news. So we were only able to get Thin Mints this year.
Yeah.
But I do remember a few years back, I was supporting a different Girl Scout through one of my colleagues at work. And there were multiple varieties that were vegan. I remember getting Thin Mints. I remember getting there's a lemon cookie, a lemon cream.
Like a sandwich
shortbread
cookie.
almost.
Yeah.
And those were delicious.
Yeah.
And they were vegan. Most of the ones with chocolate, of course, are not.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, these are not health food cookies.
No.
There's a lot of junk in them. There really are.
They're still tasty, though.
I really only ordered them to support this particular Girl Scout.
Yep.
And because the money from her cookie sales is going to help her go to Girl Scout camp this summer.
Super cool.
Yeah. So there's that. What else? I don't think I've been up to anything else. It's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, and for me, it's just been running around program auditions and guest artist residencies and just typical February, March stuff.
Yeah, and for me, it's just been like research for the show and the typical stuff. So nothing different for me.
But hey, we're 3 weeks from spring break.
We are. 3 weeks from spring break is good. Mm-hmm. So we don't have a recipe this week.
No.
Even though I didn't have a whole lot going on.
Yeah, what's up with that? Why is there no recipe? Come on. Get on it.
I guess I was just slacking.
Well, that happens.
I mean, it's not like I haven't been cooking. I just haven't made a particular recipe that we can talk about.
Maybe you can for next week?
Yeah, I'll try to get one done for next week.
That would be super cool.
I will.
I do love recipes.
Yeah. So instead, we'll just move into our noteworthy segment and give you a little update on Sequest that we were talking about last week. Sequest in Roseville is permanently closed. Yay. Can we all jump up and down and say yay for that? Following a year-long investigation.
And this is coming from KSTP.com, ABC News 5, out of Minnesota. Sequest in Roseville closed permanently on Tuesday, multiple sources confirmed to 5 Eyewitness News. The closure comes as Sequest filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in December and petitioned the court to sell the company to an insider for $80,000 in late January. Sequest later abandoned the sale, and a judge appointed a trustee to oversee the ongoing bankruptcy process. Sequest has been at the center of a year of investigative reporting by 5 Investigates and ABC News, which revealed repeated incidents putting animals, guests, and employees in danger. Bankruptcy court records show the company's gross revenues plummeted in 2024, dropping to $15.28 million from about $27.2 million in 2022. Sequest tells the court it currently has more than $16.6 million in liabilities compared to less than $700,000 in assets.
That's not good.
Not at all. Those records showed Sequest owed nearly $500,000 in unpaid rent to Rosedale Center for its Roseville location before its closure. Sequest did not immediately respond to a request for comment Tuesday about the closure of its aquarium in Minnesota. The Roseville location had cut hours and admission prices back in December amid growing scrutiny in 2024, including an active investigation conducted by the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources. Its closure lowers the number of open Sequest locations to just 4, prompting animal rights groups such as People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals to declare victory. It's a celebration. Champagne corks are popping at PETA, said Sydney Bentz, an attorney for the PETA Foundation. This hellhole has consistently failed to meet even basic animal care standards. Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, also celebrated the closure, the 5th Sequest location to shut down in less than 2 years. The surviving animals at Sequest Roseville must be transferred to accredited facilities where they can finally get the care they need and deserve, said Aaron Zellhofer, Minnesota State Director of Humane World for Animals.
The pressure campaigns that have kept Sequest in the news are directly responsible for all of this happening. Not directly responsible for Sequest's obvious lack of business acumen,
Right.
But to keep them in the news as far as how they're treating the animals and the poor conditions that the animals are in. Now, the New Jersey one that we were talking about last week, New Jersey has begun the process of shutting down that aquarium and that facility that opened several years ago in Middlesex.
That's right. So New Jersey, and this is coming from New Jersey 101.5, New Jersey has revoked all permits for the Sequest Aquarium in Woodbridge. Even before Sequest Interactive Aquarium opened at Woodbridge Center Mall in 2019, animal rights groups, including People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, voiced concerns about the company's track record in other states. While the company can still appeal the removal of its licenses, it has been placed on probationary notice by state officials, citing numerous legitimate complaints. In June 2024, a final notice of violation was issued to the business for repeated failures. At the end of January, the state declared that the zoo and aquarium facility would lose several annually issued permits covering exotic and non-exotic animals and species. State inspectors have found numerous violations every year since Sequest first opened. The Division of Fish and Wildlife, under the State Department of Environmental Protection, has received more than 3,500 complaints. Some of these were from former employees who had photographic evidence of animal mistreatment and unhealthy enclosures. Among the violations of animal regulations cited by the states are injured giant day geckos, who were kept in a crowded, wrong-sized tank and who repeatedly escaped. 2 Asian water monitors and an axolotl all needed to be euthanized in separate incidents that involved poor habitats. Multiple enclosures were allegedly not kept humid enough to support animal health, including those of a sloth and a red-eyed tree frog. Several reptiles were photographed with mouth rot by now former staffers, and multiple cases of shell rot were seen among various turtles in a large tank at the facility over several years of inspection. Overall, the state has records of at least 16 violations by Sequest of improper enclosures and at least 5 violations of not seeking prompt medical care from a licensed veterinarian for exotic and other animals.
Yeah, so it's only a matter of time before this New Jersey location is also shuttered, and it can't happen soon enough. This entire organization needs to be shut down.
Yes, it does.
It's obvious that they're simply exploiting all these animals for monetary gain,
Of course.
for no other reason. They don't
right.
care for the animals. They don't care about the animals. So, yeah, they need to go away.
Yeah, they really do. And of course, the animals in question definitely need to be rehoused with organizations whose primary focus is animal care and welfare.
Yeah, there are sanctuaries that are already lined up to accept animals coming out of these facilities. So,
Outstanding.
yeah, so that's a good thing.
Love that. Really, really glad to hear that this organization is crumbling.
It's crumbling, and it's a good reminder that, pressure campaigning does work. Mm-hmm. It does. Guess we'll move on to our main topic. This week's main topic is a guide to safe and effective peaceful protest. It's definitely something that we're all going to have to consider.
Yes.
And in the world we're living in, taking up arms is not going to do it. Like a well-formed militia against the government. This is what the forefathers put into the Constitution to say, to tell the people of the United States to rise up if the government ever does things that the government is doing now. But we're living in a different world.
Yes.
So,
to be perfectly clear, we do not advocate the use of violent protest.
No, we don't.
In any way, shape, or form.
We don't. But what I'm saying is that's, a well-organized militia is not something that's going to be effective anymore. Maybe ever since flight was possible.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, that's something that's just, that is not going to happen.
Okay.
So one of the things that we can do is protest.
Indeed.
And find organizations that are, for lack of a better word, organizing protests.
Yes. And of course, in the past several weeks, protests have been organized and launched mostly in major cities. You're seeing quite a bit in D.C., of course, in New York, in California, in Chicago.
And in state capitals.
And in state capitals, yes.
Somebody was saying, why aren't Americans rising up? Why aren't Americans protesting? Because when you see like protests happening in parts of Europe where you see seas of people protesting, the difference is size.
Yes.
We're huge. It's very difficult to get a ton of people all together in the same place, without people having to travel a long way. But there are smaller protests taking place.
There certainly are.
Like Sam said, in bigger cities and even in smaller cities, they're happening. So we put together a little bit of a guide to help you because I know a lot of you are itching to protest.
Yeah.
But we want to do it safely.
Of course.
So let's just jump into this guide.
Sure.
That we created.
So first things first, know your rights. Okay, this is important not only as a prospective protester, but just as a citizen of the United States of America. If you have not read the Constitution recently, I highly recommend that you do, so that you are very, very aware of what your constitutional rights are. If you have any questions about what your legal rights are in any given situation, then by all means, go to your local library and look up whatever legal question that you have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as we all know, the First Amendment protects your right to peacefully assemble and to express your views. Protest should not be made illegal simply because of the content of that protest. I know that the current administration is trying to suppress protest on specific issues. Anything that is related to DEI SJB, which is now diversity, equity, inclusion, social justice, and belonging. Okay. So trying to eliminate that idea, definitely trying to eliminate any protest on behalf of our transgender brothers and sisters, on behalf of the LGBTQ community, etc. So no matter what your the subject or the central focus of your protest, you are absolutely legally permitted to assemble peacefully and express those views. It's always a good idea to research local laws regarding any permits, curfews, and restrictions.
Yeah.
Okay. And particularly in cities. Okay. Cities will require a permit for a protest, and that often needs to be granted ahead of time. Okay. So do be aware of that. So permits, curfews, and restrictions. Also, it's very important to understand the difference between public property and private property. That way you can avoid any possible trespassing charges.
And plan ahead. Choose a clear message or a cause. Organize with others and assign roles like communications, first aid, legal observer. Identify a safe route and meeting points, and arrange transportation and emergency contacts.
Absolutely. Make sure that your emergency contacts know where you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's important.
Super, super important. Okay. So let's talk about staying safe and being prepared. You definitely want to wear comfortable, weather-appropriate clothing and sturdy shoes. This is not a time to be concerned with fashion. In fact, the more incognito you can be, the more basic your clothing, the more nondescript your clothing is, the better.
Yeah, you don't want to stand out.
That's right.
Yeah, keep it browns and blacks and greens and no bright colors.
I'd be great for protest because my entire wardrobe is solid black.
You already dress like a ninja, so.
I do. So, hey, we're there. It's great. Okay. It's a good idea to carry water, snacks, and basic first aid supplies. Nothing crazy, but definitely have some Band-Aids. Definitely have, a small pair of scissors, things like that. Okay, so basic first aid supplies, snacks, and water. Make sure your phone is fully charged and that you have your emergency numbers at the ready. Okay, this would include police. This would include your personal emergency contacts. This would include, obviously, a 911 directly to any medical resources, that kind of thing. It's also a good idea, depending on how long the protest will be going on, a portable charger can be really fantastic. Teeny little portable charger, just toss it in your bag.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about some phone protocols later in the guide.
Also, you do want to avoid bringing valuables and only carry absolutely necessary identification. Okay, so if you're in the States and all you need is a driver's license for identification, that's what you should carry with you. Don't bring anything else. Don't bring your passport card. Don't bring your passport.
Yeah.
Don't bring anything that isn't absolutely necessary.
Yeah, you don't want those things confiscated.
That's right.
Engage peacefully. This is a peaceful protest guide, right? So remain calm and respectful when interacting with law enforcement or opposition. Avoid physical confrontation and try to de-escalate tense situations if possible. Follow the planned route and comply with lawful orders. Document any incidents of misconduct safely and legally.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's police misconduct that we're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. It's also good to be aware of the legal risks. Okay, even though peaceful protest is protected by the Constitution, we know that there are forces at work in our government that are attempting very, very quickly to dismantle said Constitution.
Yeah, and we know in the past, in other social justice situations where people are protesting, protesters are arrested.
Yes. So it's a good idea to know the potential consequences of civil disobedience. Okay, so yes, you could be arrested. You could be detained for protest, particularly if a protest in any way, shape, or form becomes physical.
Yeah, if it gets out of hand.
If it gets out of hand, there is a chance that you could be detained. It's a really great idea in that phone that you have, and also written down on a piece of paper in a pocket.
Yeah, I would even say if you have a lawyer, I would get a lawyer before you're going to protests in case you are arrested. Write your lawyer's number in Sharpie on your arm.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
you know?
Yes. So have that number written in multiple places in case of detention.
Yes.
And of course, if you are detained and your phone is confiscated, you want to have that number on your person.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are detained, if you are arrested, remain silent and request a lawyer.
Always. In any situation.
Always.
In any situation, if you are detained by the police, remain silent and ask for a lawyer.
Right. Do not resist.
Yeah.
Do not resist arrest. Remain silent.
Cooperate and ask for a lawyer.
That's right.
Amplify your message. You can use social media to spread awareness and document events. You can engage with media outlets to share accurate information and follow up with petitions, calls to officials, and community outreach.
And speaking of follow-up, after the protest, you want to take some time to debrief with organizers to discuss successes and areas for possible improvement, things that might benefit future actions. You then want to follow up on any legal concerns and make sure that you are aware of where any detained individuals are and any assistance that they might need.
Yeah.
Also, we would encourage you to continue your advocacy through community engagement and policy efforts.
Now let's talk about like what you should bring and what you should probably leave at home.
Yep.
If you're attending a protest, it's important to be prepared. Here's a little checklist of essential items to bring for safety, communication, and comfort. First of all, your personal essentials. We talked about your identification, a government-issued ID, if you're comfortable carrying it, cash for emergencies, transportation, or food, emergency contact information written on paper or on your arm, lawyer, your family, your friends.
Exactly.
Write it down.
Yes.
Because if your phone's taken away from you, this now is the time, people, to maybe try to go back to memorizing people's phone numbers.
Yeah, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lost art.
Yeah.
In terms of your safety and protection, okay, of course, you're going to want to stay hydrated. So you're going to want a water bottle, especially when you're at a longer protest. You're also going to want some snacks, things that travel very, very well, that do not require refrigeration. So we're talking energy bars, nuts, dried fruit. Think of what you would take with you on a hike.
Right.
This is the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. A first aid kit. So Band-Aids, antiseptic wipes, gauze, pain relievers. Okay. Think about a face mask. Okay. So protection against the potential use of tear gas by police and to maintain your anonymity.
Yeah. I would recommend, if you're going to a protest, always wear a face mask or face covering of some type.
Face covering of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay. Goggles or shatterproof glasses, okay, which will protect your eyes from irritants, tear gas, or debris. So if I were going to protest, I wear prescription lenses to begin with. I would probably get a pair of safety goggles to put over those prescription lenses because I wouldn't want to risk breaking those.
Yeah.
Or, of course, leaving my eyes open to danger.
Yeah.
Also a good idea, gloves, okay, for protection if you're handling hot objects or injured people.
Yeah.
To this list, I would actually also add a hat. For people like me who are phenomenally sun sensitive, okay, it will help protect your skin, but also it does assist with that cause of anonymity as well.
Yeah.
So, a mask and a hat will keep you relatively safe in terms of recognition.
Yeah. As far as communication and documentation, your phone, if you're bringing one, fully charged with important numbers saved. We talked about that. Portable charger, like Sam said, keeps your phone powered in case of long hours. And notebook and pen to document events or legal observations. Your sign, of course, or a banner clearly stating the message that you are protesting. A whistle is good to alert others if you need help.
Absolutely.
So that's something that you would plan ahead of time, that everybody's carrying a whistle and you don't blow it unless you need help.
That's right.
From your fellow protesters.
That's right. The blowing of the whistle is not just noise making. It is not just, support for the cause.
Yeah.
It's only in the event that you are in need of assistance.
Yep.
In terms of clothing and comfort, okay, comfortable, weather-appropriate clothing. Dress in layers and wear neutral colors. Try to keep text or brand names off of your clothes.
Yeah.
Nothing that would make you instantly recognizable.
Right. Nothing easily identifiable.
Yep. Sturdy shoes, sneakers or boots for walking long distances. Okay. Whether your protest is central in one specific area or it is moving through a given city, you're going to be on your feet for a long time. So you want to make sure you're as comfortable as possible. And again, see, here we go. Hat and sunglasses, which will give you protection from the sun and increased anonymity.
Yeah.
And also, it's a good idea to in a bag or around your waist have a rain poncho or a jacket just in case of bad or cold weather.
Yeah. Now, as far as legal and safety precautions, we talked about knowing your rights. You can get a little card that will give you all of your rights, a quick reference for interactions with law enforcement, a legal aid hotline number written down in case you're arrested.
Again, on your arm is a really good idea.
On your arm or piece of paper in your pocket. Emergency plan, set meeting points in case you get separated from your group.
Yep,
So
definitely.
plan that ahead of time in case you're separated.
Now, what do we want to avoid bringing? There are a few things that you definitely want to stay away from. Okay, jewelry or valuables. Okay, number one, they can be identification, but also they could be lost or stolen. And you just don't want to risk that, particularly if those valuables have sentimental value.
Right.
Contact lenses, really not a good idea.
No.
Those lenses can attract and trap substances like tear gas and could cause extreme irritation.
Yeah.
Okay. Though tear gas is going to irritate your eyes pretty much no matter what, it will be exacerbated if you are wearing contact lenses. Yeah. Okay. Do not have on your person a weapon or anything that could be perceived as one.
Yeah, no knives, no tasers,
no tasers, no
bear spray or anything like that.
Nothing.
You don't want to be caught with that.
No, because that will avoid a lot of legal trouble.
Yeah.
If for some reason you are detained, you do not want to have anything like that on your person.
Yeah.
Also, any substances, alcohol, drugs, etc., could hugely complicate legal situations in the event of detention. So
yeah, you don't want to give law enforcement any reason to incarcerate you.
That's right.
Beyond your protesting. And here's a kind of breakdown of the rights that you have. As a U.S. citizen, you have several constitutional rights that protect your ability to protest the government peacefully. These rights are primarily derived from the First Amendment and other legal protections. Here's a breakdown. First Amendment. The First Amendment of the Constitution guarantees, number one, freedom of speech. You have the right to express your opinions, even if they criticize your government. Freedom of assembly. You can gather with others for peaceful demonstrations, marches, or protests. Freedom of the press. Journalists and individuals can report on protests without government interference. And right to petition the government. You can advocate for change through petitions, letters, or other peaceful means.
The First Amendment also protects our use of public space. You have the right to protest in public spaces, streets, parks, sidewalks, as long as you do not block traffic without a permit. You do not need a permit for spontaneous protests in response to breaking events, but large gatherings may require one, so do be aware of that. Government buildings, like courthouses, often allow protests outside as long as they don't disrupt operations. Okay, and those are public spaces.
Right. Protection from unlawful government action. The government cannot silence speech just because it is controversial or critical. Law enforcement must follow legal procedures and cannot detain protesters without cause. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unlawful searches and seizures of personal property like phones or signs.
Now, if you are stopped or arrested, there's a whole other set of rights to consider.
Right.
You have the right to remain silent and not answer police questions beyond providing identification where required. You have the right to legal representation and to ask for an attorney before speaking further. You should also not be required to unlock your phone with biometrics, Face ID or fingerprint, but you may be required to provide a passcode with a warrant.
Yes. And
note, with a warrant.
They do have to have a warrant to ask for your passcode. I would also recommend that you disable the biometrics
It's a good idea.
before you're going to a protest and make it so the only way you can open your phone is by using the passcode.
Because they need a warrant for
Yes,
the passcode.
exactly.
Yeah. Now, there are also limits on protest rights. So let's talk about those for a second. While your rights are protected, they are subject to reasonable restrictions. For example, protests must remain peaceful. Violence, vandalism, and inciting harm of any kind are not protected. Governments can also regulate the time, place, and manner of protests, but must apply rules fairly. Again, this is through permitting processes.
Right.
And generally speaking, you cannot protest on private property without permission.
Yeah, you would have to have permission from that property owner in order to protest on private property. If a protest becomes unsafe, it's important to stay calm, take strategic steps to protect yourself. And here's what you can do. Number one, stay aware, always stay aware and assess the situation. Watch for signs of escalation. Look for aggressive behavior, sudden police movement, or changes in crowd energy. Identify exit routes. Know where you can safely leave if needed. Stay with your group. Stick together and establish a meeting point, like we said, in case you get separated. Stick together.
That's right. Now, should things start to get out of hand, your first priority really should be de-escalation and avoiding conflict. Okay? Really important, remain calm. Avoid yelling or making sudden movements if you are confronted. Also, do not engage with agitators. Walk away from hostile individuals or counter-protesters, and comply with all lawful orders. Do not resist. If police order dispersal, move to a safe area.
If tear gas is deployed, here's what you should do. Move upwind. Tear gas spreads with the wind, so get to fresh air as soon as possible. Do not rub your eyes because this can worsen the irritation, and blink rapidly instead. Flush your eyes with water or saline. So that's why it's important to have a bottle of water or saline with you, and avoid using milk or baking soda solutions because that's just not going to work. Remove contaminated clothing because the tear gas residue lingers on fabric. So if you're tear gassed, take off your outer layer so you're not touching it and touching your face.
Yes. Now, if pepper spray is used, again, do not touch your face. Use clean hands or a cloth to wipe away any excess spray that you may have come in contact with. Be sure to rinse with cold water. Use saline or clean water. Do not use soap. That can actually magnify the effect of the pepper spray.
Yeah.
And breathe slowly. Okay, if you've gotten a face full of pepper spray, you want to make sure that you cough it out, but at the same time, stay calm. Okay, deep inhaling or fast inhaling will just make things worse.
And we talked about this, but I can't stress this enough. If you're arrested, remain silent. You have the right to say nothing beyond providing identification if required. Ask for a lawyer immediately. Do not answer questions without legal representation. And remember key legal aid numbers. Have hotline numbers written down or memorized.
Then we want to find safe shelter. Move away from police lines. Avoid getting trapped between officers and the crowd. If you remember the January 6th riot, a lot of people were actually caught in between lines of protesters and the line of the police defending the Capitol.
Yeah.
Seek well-lit, populated areas. You'll find safety in a business, a home, or a designated protest support location. Okay, if there are designated protest support locations, be sure you know where they are.
Yeah.
And also contact your emergency contact as soon as you can. Okay, let someone know your location and status should the state of the protest change.
Yeah, if things look like they're escalating, immediately contact someone on your emergency contact list and say, I'm at the corner of this and this.
Yes.
And this is what is happening. I just wanted to let you know where I am. Document and report any incidents that you see. Record safely. If possible, document any misconduct, but do not put yourself at risk. Share footage responsibly. Blur the faces of the people around you before posting anything online to protect their identities. And report violations. File complaints with civil rights organizations or legal aid groups if you see the police violating your rights or others' rights.
We also want to make sure that you're aware of the legal support and civil rights organizations that can assist you in many ways. Offers legal assistance, know your right resources, and monitors all civil rights violations. There are a number of them. First, of course, we have the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. We have the National Lawyers Guild, or NLG. They provide legal observers at protests and offer legal aid if protesters are arrested. The First Amendment Foundation advocates for free speech and protest rights, and the Electronic Frontier Foundation, or EFF, focuses on digital privacy and security for activists. I also want to put out there that the Southern Poverty Law Center does amazing work in all areas of civil rights law, including protests.
Yeah, and they have a lot of good resources on their site.
Yes, they do.
Bail funds and mutual aid networks. So if people are getting arrested, detained and arrested, you need to know, how do we bail them out? Here are a few organizations that can help you with that. There's the Bail Project. They help pay bail for those arrested at protests. The National Bail Fund Network connects to local bail funds for arrested protesters. Mutual aid networks, community-led groups that provide food, medical supplies, and transportation for activists.
And then we have our grassroots organizations like Black Lives Matter. They organize protests and support racial justice activism. The Sunrise Movement focuses on climate activism and protest. The Extinction Rebellion, otherwise known as XR, advocates for nonviolent civil disobedience on environmental issues. And of course, Amnesty International monitors human rights violations at protests worldwide.
Yeah, so there's just a few organizations. I'll include some links in the show notes to some of those if you want to investigate them further. And I can also probably, you know what? I can probably just make a link to this entire guide, maybe a Google doc.
Turn it into a PDF and toss it on.
I'll turn this into a PDF and put a link to a Google Doc if you'd like to print this out and have it at the ready.
I think that's great.
Yeah. And then you can just refer to it if you need to. The times we're living in.
Seriously.
I'm telling you. We're just doing what we can to help. I mean,
right.
It's all any of us can do.
Yes.
Is find ways to help. You know, like Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. We're just trying to be helpers. Because what else can we do? Beyond contacting our legislators, what else can we do?
Yep. Contacting legislators, signing petitions, all of those things. But, you know, especially those of us who are in slightly more rural areas, and there's not a lot of protest happening in downtown Fredonia.
There's none. I mean, there is on campus. There have been some
there has
protests.
been one protest on campus so far.
And God love them. And we will be involved in any others that come up.
Yes.
But yeah, being in a smaller town, you do start to feel a little helpless. Like, what can we do?
Yeah.
There aren't any huge organizations that we can physically be involved with in our area. So, So we're doing what we can.
Indeed we are.
And we hope it helps. Let's talk about our assignment restaurant SOS.
This week's restaurant is Sunshine Vegan Eats.
Woohoo!
Located at 893 Jefferson Avenue, Buffalo, New York. We love Sunshine Vegan Eats.
Oh, yeah, their food's really good.
It really is fantastic.
Yeah.
Nikki and her crew are just absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
We love them.
I love to see that they're successful even after they've been at this for a number of years now. And they don't show any signs of stopping, which I love to see.
I do too. In fact, there are rumors of a second location sometime soon.
There was a rumor going around. Actually, I think Nikki started the rumor that she had another location she was looking at refurbishing and turning it into a second location. So I don't know if she's put that on the back burner or what. I haven't heard anything about it for well over a year. So
Okay.
maybe she decided now was not the time, because that
Got
is a risky move.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, especially in a smaller market. So,
Yeah.
but let's take a little gander at Sunshine Vegan Eats menu.
Oh, don't have to ask me twice. Okay, so the first thing that we ever had at Sunshine Vegan Eats was the Impossible Naya,
Yeah.
which is their vegan steak hoagie. This is impossible meat, sunshine cheese, onions, mushrooms, banana peppers, secret sauce. It is so good.
It's really good. It's like a chopped cheese.
It's just
really good.
ridiculously satisfying. And that is, of course, served with fries. The other thing that I absolutely have loved at Sunshine Vegan Eat is the Jefferson, which is their shrimp po' boy.
Yeah.
Which is lettuce and pickles and onions and creamy cilantro sauce, of course, also served with fries. But it was really the first time I had gone on a vegan seafood adventure.
Right.
And it was just delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, really fantastic.
They also have breakfasts.
Yeah, we haven't done a Sunshine Vegan Eats breakfast yet.
And I've heard their breakfasts are really good. They have the Big Sunshine, which is, you get vegan bacon, home fries, tofu scramble with peppers and onions, polenta served with rye toast.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds like, wow, that's a hearty breakfast.
They've also got the sunrise breakfast if you're more of a pancake person. So this is 3 handmade pancakes, tofu scramble with peppers and onions, and a sausage patty. That sounds lovely to me.
Cajun cheesy shrimp and grits for breakfast?
Well, sure.
Why not? I've never had shrimp and grits.
Me either.
I'm allergic to shellfish, so before we were vegan, that's not something I would even consider.
Right.
But given that this is vegan shrimp, I might
Sure.
consider that. You can also get chicken and waffles, and God, you can't go wrong with chicken and waffles. It's vegan crispy chicken and waffle topped with maple syrup.
Yeah.
That is so good. That's
Nice.
sweet and salty. So good. They have tons of wonderful sides. They have a huge menu of appetizers. Of course, fry.
Tacos.
Yeah, they have tacos, pastillos, wings.
Like right now, I'm looking at the menu and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the snow stinger, that's just crazy. And I might have to try that the next time we go because it just sounds ridiculous. Again, it's chopped impossible meat with bell peppers, onions, and cheese, topped with then buffalo chicken tenders, lettuce, Nikki's famous blue mayo, and ranch. I think that's my next Sunshine Vegan Eats meal there.
Sounds good.
That sounds insane.
It sounds good. If you're looking for something a little more on the healthier side, they do have a big kale salad.
Nice.
And, let me just say, Nikki's prices are amazingly affordable.
They really are. Very reasonable.
This big kale salad is $10. It's fresh kale, sun-dried tomatoes, spices, and sweet coconut corn couscous.
That sounds fabulous.
It looks really good. The Impossible Steak Hoagie, she usually does a special where I think when she first started, it was 2020 when she first opened. So she used to do 2 for 2020.
Yeah.
Then she did 2 for 2021. And she did 2 for 2022. So you can get those really inexpensively, a big meal. And they're big sandwiches.
They are.
They're like overloaded sandwiches. She has a buffalo ranch chicken. And there's your Jefferson. So many options.
I can also speak for their coolers. They do some juices that are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, house-made juices.
Yeah, I had one of their ginger turmeric lemon shots.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite combinations of flavors, and it was just awesome.
And then she has a whole menu of tacos, street tacos, nachos, impossible tacos, fish tacos, shrimp tacos, steak quesadilla, vegan ribs, meatloaf, the Big Fred, which is fried fish and shrimp with tartar sauce and fries,
That sounds good.
and the Nikki Special, which is vegan mac and cheese, yams, and greens.
also sounds really good.
Yeah. So much stuff. So much. The mac and cheese looks incredible. I think I've had the mac and cheese there. I'm pretty sure I have.
I'm not sure.
They make a jalapeno cornbread
Yum.
to go with your tacos. You can get sides of things like a side of meatloaf or plantains or cabbage or collard greens or mashed potatoes or yams or jasmine rice or vegan ribs. I mean, it's insane. And then desserts. They make cookies and peach cobbler.
And banana pudding.
Chocolate chip cookies, oatmeal raisin cookies, peanut butter cookies, peach cobbler. And then, like Sam said, they have a whole menu of their coolers, their house-made juices and stuff. They're so good. And smoothies.
So it's seemingly an endless menu.
It is. Smoothies.
At Sunshine Vegan Eats.
Juices. And don't forget, if you're in the Buffalo area, Sunshine Vegan Eats also caters.
Yes, they do.
Oh, and I just found out that Good and Evil, which was our restaurant last week, they are also starting a catering thing. So
Nice.
yeah, it's good to have options if you're having a get-together or whatever and you don't want to cook.
Amen.
That you can get, I've seen some of the stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of when Nikki caters an event, like she caters at BU events and stuff.
Sure.
And it's a huge spread of food and everybody looks super happy
Well, that's not surprising.
to be eating it. So
I'm super happy whenever I have something from Sunshine Vegan Eats.
yeah. So here's the twist. If you've recently been to Sunshine Vegan Eats, please send us a picture of your meal and let us know what it was. And we will enter you in. This is the last week for the February We're going to buy you dinner contest.
That's right.
And you can email that at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com. You can also DM those pictures if you want on Facebook or Instagram. That works too. And we'll put you into to be chosen to win a meal at Sunshine Vegan Eats. Now it's time for our favorite portion of the show.
Must be listener shout out time.
It's listener shout out.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's listener shout out goes to Lisa Baird, who is a new subscriber to our newsletter. Thank you, Lisa, for subscribing and for listening to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. And send us your t-shirt size and address so we can send you a Compassion and Cucumbers swag bag. Text us that information using the text link in our show notes, include your name, or email us at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com, or you can always DM us on Instagram or Facebook.
For the rest of you out there, if you want a listener shout out, just email, text, or DM us. Let us know what you think of the show and tell us just a little bit about yourself. You can also always nominate someone else for a shout out.
Yeah, that's always fun to do. And now it's time to wrap this baby up. But before we go, don't forget, subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app, subscribe to our YouTube, leave us a review and a rating if you can, so we can reach more great people like you. Tell all your friends, tell all your family, share our show with somebody you think would be interested in what we have to say. And again, you can get news about the show by subscribing to our weekly newsletter at compassionandcucumbers.com.
And with that, it's time to sign off. You have just listened to episode 174 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, and there's nothing left to say but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion. On the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
We do. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
The end.